these people make any spiritual advancement. And any spiritual advancement they have, when they adopt this attitude, they lose it. Sometimes it is found that a neophyte is taking part in chanting and dancing very enthusiastically, but within himself he is under the impression that he has become one with the Supreme Whole. This conception of monism is completely different from pure transcendental devotional service. If, however, it is seen that a person has developed a high standard of devotion without having undergone even the regulative principles, it is to be understood that his status of devotional service was achieved in a former life. For some reason or another, it had been temporarily stopped, most probably by an offense committed at the lotus feet of a devotee. Now, with a second good chance, it has again begun to develop. The conclusion is that steady progress in devotional service can be attained only in the association of pure devotees. So, is that clear to everybody that the devotional attitude and the impersonalist attitude are completely opposites? Complete opposites. If you think that I am one with God, if you think that I am God, if you think that it's all one, if you think that there's no difference between you and Brahman, and it's all light and all of this stuff, you can't make any spiritual advancement. Because this is an offense at the feet of the holy name, an offense at the feet of the Lord, and an offense at the feet of the pure devotees. The pure devotees dedicate their lives to worshiping God. The personal form of God, not the impersonal energies of God, but the source, the creative source, the creator, the designer, the intelligent designer, the supreme personality of Godhead. We worship him. Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. I worship the Supreme Lord, Govinda, the giver of pleasure to the cows and the senses, the Supreme Person, Adi Purusham, the original person. See, that's who we worship. And that's why we get devotional ecstasies. That's why we're always in love. You see? We're ever youthful. Because we're always in love with the personality of Godhead, who is ever youthful, ever expanding, always new, fresh, young. He's always a fresh young boy. So try to understand. We do not accept this impersonal spiritual alignment. Why? Because we see by experience that those people don't make any spiritual advancement. They simply pretend. And then when nobody's looking, they sneak off and have a smoke, you know. Go down to McDonald's and pig out. So try to understand that we've seen this again and again and again and again and again and again. You can't fool us. Okay? We know. You're just pretending. We know. It's okay. Just go off and pretend somewhere else. Okay? Because we don't want your association. I'm sorry. You know, you're not sincere. And if you're not sincere, then even if we defeat your nonsense impersonal philosophy, you won't accept it. Within yourself, you will still maintain this same offensive attitude. So we don't want that kind of association. We want to be around people who are sincere. This is another reason why we filter people on our website. And the result is that we have a very, very nice group of people who don't manifest any of these offensive attitudes. And if somebody shows up who does, it's very obvious to everybody because they're so different. So anyway, if one can gradually advance his status in devotional service, this is understood to be due to the causeless mercy of Krishna himself. If a person is completely detached from material enjoyment and has developed pure ecstatic devotion, even if it is sometimes accidentally even if he is sometimes accidentally found not living up to the standard of devotional service, one should not be envious of him. It is confirmed also in Bhagavad-gītā that a devotee who has unflinching faith in and devotion to the Lord, even if sometimes found to be accidentally deviated from pure devotional characteristics, should still be counted among the pure. Unflinching faith in devotional service, in Lord Krishna, and in the spiritual master makes one highly elevated in the activities of devotional service. In the Nrsimha Purana it is stated, if a person has completely engaged his mind, body, and activities in the service of the Supreme Godhead, but externally he is found to be engaged in some abominable activities, these abominable activities will surely be very quickly vanquished by the influence of his staunch devotional force. The example is given that on the full moon there are some spots which may appear to be pockmarks. Still, the illumination spread by the full moon cannot be checked. Similarly, a little fault in the midst of volumes of devotional service is not at all to be counted as a fault. Attachment for Krishna is transcendental bliss. Amid unlimited volumes of transcendental bliss, a spot of some material defect cannot act in any way. So in other words, we have two different standards. We have a standard for the impersonalists, and we have a standard for the pure devotees. The impersonalists are understood to actually be materialists. And as such, they're going to be engaged in all kinds of material activities. They may talk about spiritual life, and they may give some glib philosophy. And they may even imitate some of the activities of the devotees. But we also see that they engage in material sense gratification, that they're very envious of the pure devotees, that they simply imitate the devotees, and then they go off and they do some really nasty things. But on the other hand, we see that sometimes a pure devotee will have an accidental fall down, or they'll make some mistake, or they may have a little bit of material contamination left over from the previous activities or something like that. But this is not at all considered a problem. Why? Because their intention is pure. Their heart is in the right place. They are sincere. See? They're trying to please the Lord. They're trying to please Krishna. They're trying to serve their guru, and they're trying to learn the philosophy and apply it as best that they can. See, the impersonalists are often very hypocritical. They'll say, oh yes, I love Krishna, yes, Krishna is great, and Krishna is God, and all this stuff. But then within their heart, they're thinking, and I'm going to merge with him. Or, yes, Krishna is God, and I am one with him. See? Krishna is God, and everything is one. This is hypocrisy. This is hypocrisy. They're thinking one thing on the inside and saying a different thing on the outside. So we don't accept this. We don't accept. On the other hand, a devotee who is 100% sincere, he may simply have some material weakness or material defect, or he may be attached to certain habits that he just can't overcome right away. It may take some time. But because his intention is in the right place, Krishna accepts his service. See? So we go by a person's intention. We go by a person's lack of hypocrisy. See, we have to evaluate people. Anybody who says, "Oh, you shouldn't be judgmental," they're crazy. We should be judgmental in the sense that we evaluate people. Otherwise, we don't know who we're going to associate with. and association is a very powerful influence in our life. If we associate with good people, then we accept or we absorb all their qualities. And if we associate with bad people, then we become just like them after a while. So we should be very careful who we associate with, and we should analyze and evaluate people according to the value of their association. You see? So if someone is, you know, a very sincere person, a very truthful person, even though they may have some defect, we would rather associate with people like that than people who are apparently very intelligent, very, you know, erudite and learned, but they're hypocrites. See? That's the meaning here. That's the meaning. Not that we expect devotees to be completely 100% perfect. Nobody's 100% perfect. Huh? Everyone has some limitations because we're human beings. We're in the material world. Everyone has some faults, you know. Just because I'm a spiritual master, it doesn't